In 1843, after several Indian nations were forced to become new neighbors in Indian Territory, Cherokee Chief John Ross called a historic meeting. The International Indian Council of 1843 lasted several days and was attended by about 20 tribal nations. This 2016 painting by artist Andy Thomas captures the fanfare of the event. It's housed at the Gilcrease Museum in Tulsa, Oklahoma. The International Council was the largest meeting of its kind ever held and took place in Tahlequah, the capital of the Cherokee Nation. Only a few first-hand accounts of the council exist, including this painting by John Mix Stanley, a renowned artist of the time.
So John Mix Stanley was an American painter who traveled extremely widely, and he was working in the 1830s, 1840s, 1850s. He traveled to Indian Territory from 1842 to 1845, and while he was there, he traveled to events like the International Indian Council. So this image here is a replica of John Mix Stanley's 1843 International Indian Council. The original painting is in the Smithsonian American Art Museum. He was there on site, so this is his first-hand account. The Cherokee Principal Chief, John Ross, invited tribes from across the region to convene for this International Indian Council. There had been some conflict in the early 1840s, and John Ross's goal was to find a peaceful means to coexist and to share resources and live together in this place.
The Reverend William H. Good was one attendee who recorded a detailed account of the council. Reverend Good describes the mix of cultures and the great variety in the looks and dress.
The assemblage presented a motley appearance, exhibiting every age, phase, and condition of Indian life of both sexes. The costume of the Indian tribes is greatly varied. Males and females fantastically ornamented, especially about the head, some with rich plumes, some with more common, and many with the single quill of a fowl. Almost everyone is distinguished by some article of display, the ears and noses, especially of the ruder tribes, variously and profusely ornamented.
Reverend Good noted other tribal leaders in attendance, such as Potawatomi Chief Wabansi, Osage leader Zingawasa, Seminole Chief Wildcat or Kawakagi, Creek Chief Rolly McIntosh, and Cherokees George Lowry, Jesse Bushyhead, and Joseph Van. There were also politicians from the United States in attendance, some captured in Stanley's painting.
And in the middle here, you see General Zachary Taylor, who was also present for the meeting. This is really an incredible record. It's a beautiful work of art, but as a historic document and record of that event, it's really fantastic. And it's very different than many depictions of Native Americans from that time period, because this is showing a peaceful gathering. This is showing diplomacy, governance. Many depictions of Native Americans by white artists at that point were showing violence. We're showing a very different, very stereotypical view from that era.
William Good also transcribed Chief John Ross's historic welcoming speech.
Brothers, by this removal, tribes hitherto distant from each other have become neighbors, and those hitherto unacquainted have become known to each other. Brothers, it is for renewing in the West the ancient talk of our forefathers, and of perpetuating forever the old pipe of peace, and of extending them from nation to nation, and of adopting such international laws as we may redress the wrongs done by the people of our respective nations to each other, that you have been invited to attend the present council.
The 1843 Indian Council was truly an international affair, an unprecedented event for the time that set the stage for modern intertribal councils.